This point right here, where the motor neuron and its terminal branches are connecting onto this motor end plate, is called a neuromuscular junction. And that makes sense because it's the neuron to the muscle connection. This is called this exchange of information, which is going to actually, it only goes one direction in this case. It only goes out of the motor into the muscle. It doesn't go the other way around. So it only goes in one direction here. This is called a synapse. The synapse, do you remember from anatomy, is it a direct connection or what's there? There's a gap, right? Synapses have gaps. And what happens in between that gap?
Sends out signals.
Signals, and those signals were called neurotransmitters, right? The neurotransmitters. So it's not an actually direct connection. They don't actually touch. All synapses have a gap, and that gap is where chemical reactions occur and things get switched back and forth, and that's how the information actually gets transferred down. Okay, don't worry about that. So anyway, a synapse is the small gap between the terminal branch of a motor neuron and the muscle. And each terminal branch ends at a motor end plate of a single muscle fiber. So remember that we said motor neurons can have thousands of terminal branches. Each individual of those terminal branches synapses with a single muscle fiber cell. So one branch to one muscle fiber cell connects. But there could be thousands of terminal branches, right? But only one terminal branch goes to one muscle fiber cell. Okay, so now we need to talk about quickly the sensory neurons, and then we're going to talk about these guys talking to each other. Sensory neurons have a different structure. They're not put together quite the same way. They have the same parts, but not necessarily in the same order. So the cell body right here, it's not called a soma. Don't know why. It's called a cell body. And the motor neuron, the cell body is called a soma. We have a cell body. Where was the cell body of the motor neuron situated? Where was that guy? Where was that? Where was the cell body of the motor neuron? In the anterior horn. So actually inside of our central nervous system, inside the spinal cord. These guys are not. They're outside of it. They're situated in something that's called a dorsal root ganglion. And I'll show you a picture of that in a minute when we're looking at this. So they're actually right outside of the spinal cord in a dorsal root ganglion. We said that the ventral root was where the axons came out of for our motor neurons. The dorsal root is where the cell bodies are situated. Then they have this kind of central axon fiber that goes into terminal branches.